Hello everyone, and welcome to this TBS Education webinar live with you and your questions, we hope, where we're going to present our master's program here at TBS Education. My name is Margot Gress. I am part of the international admissions team here, and first we are going to present to you a little video that shows our 4 campuses.
If you want to open your world and be inspired, if you want to learn with passion and ambition, choose TBS Education. On the campus of your choice in Toulouse, Paris, Barcelona or Casablanca, you'll be part of a community that spans the globe. So seize your chance to study in over 230 partner universities. Because it's not only about studying, it's about meeting people, making friends, sharing experiences. It's about life. Your way, your voice, your path. Choose excellence. A triply accredited school with flexible courses, a wide range of specializations and lively campuses. Learn from inspiring teachers and seasoned professionals, all behind you to support your projects and mobility. Let's share our truth. The people you meet along the way are already part of your career. So collaborate with your talented peers, who are all future managers. Gain professional experience through internships, apprenticeships, and double degrees. Progress. Interact with people working for leading international companies. Stand out in the job market. Become eventually an expert in your field. Now is your time to shape and forge your career. Give everything for your future. Get everything in the future. Choose TBS Education.
So I hope you enjoyed this little video with our 4 different campuses, and to remember that the key element in TBS is to inspire education, to inspire life. The first thing I want to do before getting into more details regarding TBS Education or different programs is to introduce you to our 3 students that are joining us today. The 3 of them are in our Master of Science program. So we have Lady, Pawan, and Anton. And if that's okay for you, I would like for you to introduce yourself, tell me more maybe about yourself, what you're studying here at TBS in a few words.
Okay, well, I am Lady. I come from Ecuador, and I am doing the program in Supply Chain and Purchasing, the MSc. I started in September. I've already finished my program, took my exam, and now I'm looking for an internship. And I've really had a good time here in Toulouse.
That's so good to hear.
Hello, bonjour and namaste. My name is Pawan, and I'm from India. I'm enrolled here in MSc Aerospace Management, and I too started last year, and right now I'm in the phase of completing my thesis and planning to do the internship.
Perfect. And for you, Anton?
Hello, my name is Anton Fernandez. I come from Dominican Republic. I'm an industrial engineer doing MSc in Purchasing and Supply Chain Management, and I'm actually doing the thesis right now on my program.
So we will see more about Anton, Pawan, and Lady all throughout this session today. We will talk first about the admission process, and then we will move on to the International Student Office that helps the student with non-academic aspects once they're enrolled. So first, I just want to tell you more about TBS Education and what is important to know and to remember about the school. The first thing to know is TBS Education is in the top 10 of business schools here in France right now. It has started in 1903, so last year we celebrated our 120th anniversary. At TBS Education, we try to be as international as we can be. That's why we have more than 200 partner universities in which students can go to do a semester, for example, for the Master in Management program. But we also have a wide network that we hope help our students to develop their professional network. So we have more than 53,000 alumni with which we work, and we try to be in constant touch. We are going to go through the key elements of the programs. I'm first going to start with the Master in Management program. So the Master in Management is actually a 2-year program. It's a full-time program, and the next intake will be, of course, in September 2024. The current tuition fees for the 2024 intake is 31,500 euros, so that's for the 2 years. And as you may see, the program can be a little longer. The program can be either done in French or in English. Of course, for all international students right here, it is mostly chosen in English and can be started either in Toulouse or in Barcelona. When you finish this program, you will earn not only 120 ECTS, but also a double degree. And that is really what makes this program stand out, is you are sure throughout all the program aspects that you will earn a double degree. Why? How does it work? Well, the first thing to know is that the first year is where you will get all the basics again about management. You will see courses about finance, human resources even. And you will finish this year with a 3-month internship. Once you finish this, you have the opportunity either to go through a gap year or to go straight to the second year. The second year is when you do your specialization. This specialization is what gets you your double degree. Specialization are Master of Science, so you can very well choose like Pawan, the MSc Aerospace, or the MSc Purchasing and Supply Chain like Lady and Anton, but you have also a wide choice of MSc. And not only can you choose our Master of Science, you can also go to a partner university to do your double degree there. We try to give you this professional experience, but also an international experience here at TBS Education. And once you finish your second year, you get to do a 6-month internship to conclude your experience. So that's regarding the Master in Management. Now I'm going to go into more details with the Master of Science. Thank you. The Master in Science also starts in September 2024 for the next intake. It is also a full-time program, but it's only 1 year. It goes between 18,500 euros to 20,000 euros, depending on which MSc you choose. It can be either in English most of the time, and some of them are also bilingual. And you earn 90 ECTS once you finish the program. So regarding the Master of Science, the structure is, so you start in September and until April is when you get really the classes. And the second part is when you get to do the master thesis, and you also have an option that we do recommend, which is to take the internship. So that's my first question actually for you guys, is can you tell us if you have chosen, I think I heard about internship, so if you have chosen yes or no, so how it was, and where are you going to do your internship if you have one?
Okay, well, I started. So yeah, finally I've got an internship. It's going to be in Paris. It's in a company about that works in resins, plastic, something that I have kind of experience on. While looking for it, it can be challenging. Yeah, I have to be honest. It can be challenging. You do need to have certain level of French, but I just believe it's the whole point for me. It was the whole point of coming here and doing my studies in France. I wanted to have like the working experience, just get to know how's the industry in France, and go like wherever I go after that with that first experience.
Mm-hmm. So what about you, Pawan?
So coming to my program, it's not mandatory to have an internship, but I really wanted to do the internship, so I started the process of looking for the recruitment opportunities. But I was not. To be frank, it was very exhausting. But with the help of the career services and the frequent webinar which they organize, I came to know the different way how to approach the industry, and I also got some tips to do the interview process. And I'm glad to share that I got one internship here in Toulouse, that is in the company named Cyber in Flight. So where I will be working as a market analyst, and I'm really looking forward to that opportunity.
Amazing. And I think, Anton, for you it's a different experience, right?
Actually, yes, I'm doing my thesis, and I chose that because it gives me the opportunity to research and develop a program as something that I'm really interested in. I'm doing it in blockchain in the supply chain, and I have all the masteries of my teachers that are helping me with it. So I think it's a different opportunity than the internship to growth and development of my career.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience. It's also to show that you really have a hand on what experience you want to have, and you have the control and flexibility. So I'm happy to hear that you have actually different experiences, right? So to finish this part of the admission process, I'm just going to show you guys the admission process, how it is, how it works, what steps you have to go through, the steps that all of three went through 1 year or 2 years ago.
Yes.
So here we go. Oh, sorry, and the specialization, of course, I couldn't go further without showing you the MSc specialization. So both of the three of you have the specialization here in Toulouse that you see, which are the MSc Aerospace Management and the one Purchasing and Supply Chain. So here you will see the specialization that we have in the French campuses, so in Toulouse and in Paris. As you will see, most of them are in English. We try to sort out the one that were bilingual so that you could tell. And we also have, of course, MSc specialization in Barcelona and in Casablanca. So when you decide to apply, if you do for MSc, make sure to know which campus you want to join before you get to your specialization, because you will need to know in advance. So that's the different specialization that you can choose in the different campuses. So now let's move on actually to the application steps. The first thing to do is go online, go on your computer, go on our website, on our Apply website, and you can send your application. So you need to upload different documents such as your passport, your grade transcript, your diploma, but also an English test if you're not a native speaker or if you have not done your studies in English, and then just you're free to go. We have a letter of motivation, of course, and a CV, because we need to know what you have done before coming here. If all the documents are in order and if you match all the requirements, then you just need to go through an online interview. This online interview is flexible. We try to make sure that you have some time. So we have students from all over the world, so you have 5 days to take it if you are accepted. And then to confirm this, you pay you sign your contract, and then you pay the deposit, of course, to confirm your application. And that's when you receive from us your admission letter, and then you can move on with the rest of the processes. Also, we do have a lot of questions, a lot of times I'm trying to answer that in advance, regarding the tuition fee payment process, how it works, how it can be divided, is it flexible or not. So you do have the options to either pay in 1 or in 6 installments per year. So for example, for the MSc it's only 1 year, so that's how it works. It can go up to 12 different installments if you go through the Master in Management, for example. So I hope you have some questions, or if not, we have prepared some questions for you. So all the students and we are going to answer some questions prepared right now.
Okay, so I have a question here. When do the application open and when do they close?
So that's a good question. The program, as I mentioned, always starts in September. So we usually open the application about a year before. So for example, for September 2024, we opened in October 2023, and it's going to end by mid-June, end of June. It also can be different regarding if you need to have a visa or not. It's of course better if you apply before. If you need to have a visa, it can be a longer process. So if you're European out of Europe, it can be a different time. It's usually by the end of June.
Okay, thank you. And is there a specific academic level that I should have?
So the most important thing, I'm thinking for the Master in Management, for example, is to have at least a 3-year bachelor level, the 3-year bachelor level, and then to make sure that you are either in the final year or that you already have obtained it. We will not have a specific grade that we will look at, but the specific grade can help you be accepted, of course, because we do receive many different applications. Something else to know is that the online interview is taken into account for your application. That's really something where you want to stress your motivation, who you are, why are you interested in this specific field. So this is what we will look at more than just your academic level at first.
Thank you. And if I'm admitted, how much time do I have to pay the deposit?
So once you're admitted, you will receive an email telling you, so if you have received a discount, because we do have also offers of discounts that can go up to 25% of the price of the program, so it can be really interesting. And then once you have this information, it tells you everything that you need to do within a 3 weeks window.
Perfect, thank you. I have a quick questions for the students. As an international student, how did you find your admission process? And do you remember your interview? How did it go? And how did you find the delay of response from the admissions team?
Okay, well, from what I can remember, it was pretty easy. I just got into the webpage, I filled in the form, sent my application, and then the response, it was pretty quick. I actually remember if I'm not wrong, I applied at the end of April, June. So I felt that I was kind of in a rush, but the response was really quick and the process was really smooth. I got my answer, then I got my interview, and just follow every step that you mentioned, and it was really like user friendly, you know. Mm-hmm. For me, it was perfect, and that's how I'm here.
For me, it was much more streamlined because I used the help of a consultancy based in India called The Dimension. So they helped me through the application process, then the interview, and then the visa process. So it was pretty much efficient for me. And coming to the interview, my conversation with Professor Benohoya before the interview really helped me put up my motivation, and also helped me in clearing my doubts. So the interview was also very well, and thanks to the International Student Office, the process was very much smooth, and my point of contact was Margot, and she was really helpful with all the queries.
I just want to add to Lady's part that the website of TBS is pretty straightforward. When you upload the documents, they tell you if the document was accepted or not. So that makes it way easier to know if you got the right documents or not. And also to mention that the online interview is pre-recorded, so you don't have to be in a specific time. Like Margot said, you have 5 days to complete it, and everybody here is fun. So at the end of the day, you just got to mention who you are, why you want to come here, and I think they will understand either way you said it or not.
Perfect.
And do we need to speak French to be admitted?
So for the application, no, you do not need to speak French. I don't know if you guys spoke French at all before coming, but that's not actually mandatory for the application. Our program, as I mentioned, are in English. So if you wish to do the whole Master in Management, the 2 years in English, you absolutely can. If you want to do the MSc in English, you can too. The thing that can be different is for, as we mentioned, for the internship. If you do look for an internship in France, that might be something French will probably be necessary, but if you look somewhere else, because you do not have to do your internship in France if you don't want to, if you want to go back to your original country or go to another one, then French will not be necessary. So if you want to do everything 100% in English, you absolutely can.
Okay, perfect. I have one last question for you, Margot, then I will have some question for the students. Can I apply for an MSc if I obtain my bachelor in July this year?
Yes, you can. The admissions is not done. You can apply for the admissions even if you have not received your diploma yet. You just need to be in your final year, and then we kind of bet on you to obtain your diploma. If that's not something that happens, if you paid the deposit and then you end up not obtaining your diploma, unfortunately, then of course the deposit is refunded, and there is a whole process where we try to offer you different solutions. Either maybe you just want to move out of this program, or you want to defer your application, and that's also something we help you with. Deferring is something that we can do and assist you in your application process.
Okay, I have a question in this chat from Ernesto. From the Master in Management, what type of exam do I have to present?
So when you apply for the Master in Management, you need to show your grade transcript from your previous studies. So probably your bachelor that you have done, you need to show your grade transcript, and if you have obtained already your diploma, please show your diploma too. Otherwise, share with us a certificate showing that you are currently enrolled in your last year of the bachelor.
Okay, I have another question from the chat from Maria. What are the criteria for the discounts mentioned?
Yes, of course, that's a good question. The discounts are based, so first of all, we open application, as I mentioned, in October. So the discount, we don't have a specific date where we give the response to everyone. It's really on a first come, first served. If you are qualified for one of our discounts, you will know immediately. You don't have to send a specific email or letter to have a discount. It's taken into consideration with your grade transcripts, your level of English, and then your performance in your interview. The 3 main criteria are what is going to give you one of our discounts. However, there is one that everybody can get if you apply early. For example, if you're interested to apply for the September 2025 intake, then my advice would be to apply before December 31st, very like the end of the 2024 year, because if you do, you are sure to obtain at least a 10% early bird discounts, and that works for all of our programs.
I have another question in the chat. Are MSC's program available in apprenticeship?
So the MSc programs are unfortunately not available in apprenticeship directly. However, there are different ways in which you can try to go into our MSc in apprenticeship. For example, either you go through the Master in Management 100% in apprenticeship if you are fluent in French, because you need to have a B2 level in French, then you are sure to do your MSc in apprenticeship as well. or you can go through the first year of the Master in Management in English, and then we do have some MSc in the second year that are either, two of them are in English that can be done in apprenticeship, like the aerospace, I believe, and the artificial intelligence. Then most of them will be in French, but also some are offered bilingual. So as you may see, French is really important if you want to do your MSc in apprenticeship. If that's something that you want to do, then that's something to consider, is your level of French. So that will be regarding, mostly if you want to access it, it will be through the Master in Management. You cannot apply directly to any MSc in apprenticeship.
Perfect, thank you. I have questions for the students. So first of all, why did you choose that specialization? And secondly, could you tell us about a project that you really liked during this program?
Yeah. Why the program? Well, after graduating from college in Ecuador, I started working at my family's company, and it's a manufacturing company. So I manage a little bit about the coordination in exports, imports, also buying supplies. So I had student experience, and I discovered that I really liked it. I was good at it. So I didn't want to stop there. I just wanted to specialize myself, just get a little bit more knowledge. And I started looking for programs. I always knew I wanted to come to France. I've had this relationship with France ever since I was 11, I guess. And started looking for programs, and I really like the one in TBS. Also, the rank influenced a lot my decision. And yeah, well, that's basically why I chose purchasing and supply chain management.
Amazing.
For me, the main aim of choosing the TBS as well as the MSc in Aerospace Management is that professionally I'm an aeronautical engineer, and I wanted to do a MSc in the same field. And coming to TBS, for me it's the best choice because it's a triple accredited school, as well as it has partnership with Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, thus enforcing academic trust for me. Also, the second question which you asked, I forgot the question.
So what was the second question, please?
The second question was, could you tell us about a project you really liked during this program?
I forgot about that as well.
If you want to answer.
No, go ahead.
In my program, there is a special session which we call as Extra Mile. So under this, we invite the aerospace professionals from different backgrounds, and they to come to the class and pitch about their companies and about their work and responsibilities, what they are doing. So for me, it was a great learning experience because I got an opportunity to directly do networking with them and also get feedback regarding the future, regarding the current as well as the future projects.
Amazing. Do you want to go back to on the same question?
Well, yeah. In my program, there were two specific activities that we had. First, it was a consulting mission. Mm-hmm. So we got reunited with students from all the specializations, and we worked for a specific company during 2 weeks. But then also we had another activity that was real cases. We had the chance to work directly with Adidas procurement team, and that was a great experience, not only because of networking, but also you could apply what you've seen in the classes to a real case. That was a real problematic in their offices, in their process, in their system, and just being able to add value to them with your knowledge, it's really grateful. And meeting the people there, the teams, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that was great, Lady. So for me, I chose this master's, like Lady said, to add value. I'm an industrial engineer, and I've always liked the concept of adding value via manufacturing. I'm an industrial engineer, so at the end of the day, supply chain is something that interested me a lot after COVID. We saw all the supply chains interrupt, how prices were affected, how everybody was affected, not getting the things and goods that we wanted. So I think it's something that is going to be valuable in the future, and companies are considering it more and more. And a project I really liked was my class of demand forecasting. I liked it because they did not only give us the theory behind it, but we also learned how to code and use it on real life. Also using ChatGPT helping us to code, because we had no experience coding. And I think that was a great example of how technology is helping us develop faster and use it on a real case basis at work even.
Awesome. Is there any additional questions?
Yes, there is. Maria asked if it is easy to find a part-time job as an international student.
So it depends on the program. It depends on a lot of different things. But I guess looking for a part-time job in France will require French. So that's really something I'm stressing, but it is something that is really important if you do want to look for something in France. Because if it's not with the people, for example, if you want to try for something in tourism where you may have foreign people, you may work with French people. So you will always have a need for French. So that's something that you really want to take into consideration if you want to have a part-time job in France also. But then on the side of that, it will depend on the rhythm. For the example of PAWAN with MSc Aerospace, it has a very specific rhythm where classes are only on Thursdays and Fridays. So there is this time on the outside of that to, for example, find another part-time job. But most of the other MSc have classes from Monday to Friday. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was your experience, yes? So it was from Monday to Friday. And then it means that if you look for a job, it will be mostly either on your evenings or on the weekends, but it also means that you have less time maybe to do your homework. So that's a lot of things to take into consideration. Maybe for you, it's less, you know you can manage your time, but it's not something forbidden, at least at TBS. If you do find something else on the side, absolutely go for it. You do have specific hours that you cannot go over as a student in France, but other than that, we do not prevent you from doing a job out of your classes.
Okay, also, I would like to add one thing. As I'm doing a part-time job here, there is an opportunity to do a part-time job in TBS Bibliotech. So
where we are right now, you can, I don't know if you can see.
And you don't need that much. You don't need to be that much fluent in French, and I think you can work it out here if you want to really do a part-time job.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the example. Is there anything else?
Yes, to the students, could you describe how your everyday life on campus is? So the courses, how many hours every week?
Yeah, that's a question we get a lot from students usually in the application processes. How intense is it? Like how many hours? How is your life here as a TBS student?
Well, for my case, it was changing a lot. There were some days where I only had classes during the morning, or some other days where I only had classes during the afternoon. So those were like the great days for me, because I had, you know, like an entire afternoon or entire morning for working out, like running some errands and stuff. But then there were some other days that were really demanding. And we had classes in the morning and the afternoon as well. But just the campus it's really comfortable. Like you can bring food, you can buy food here. It's made for you to feel okay while being here during your classes. Even you have classrooms for studying. You also have a Zen room, which was great for me. That was like the best thing I could find here in TBS campus. So yeah, the rhythm was pretty much like that. I mean, if you're a full-time student, you need to be prepared for everything. You know, your studies are your priority. But it went smooth.
Okay. Was it the same feeling?
I would add to Lady, because I know you have a different concept in aerospace management. But mostly classes were divided in 15 hours per subject by teacher. So you had like 6 hours in a day, 6 hours the other, and then 3 hours the next day. There were some weeks where we had full-time from Monday to Friday, but you did not have more than 6 hours per day. You had 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and some weeks that you had class Monday, Tuesday, and then you were free. The good thing is TBS is organized in that case, if teachers comply, that you have your calendar since September for almost a full year. So you can plan your trips, if you have any, beforehand, and even the exam dates, you have everything, I'm not going to say from day one, but from the first week.
Yeah. Coming to my program, for the first semester, we had classes for twice or like two or three times a week, and we had a lot of time to work on the projects. And being an international program, I had the opportunity to work in a cross-cultural team, and also there were some projects where we were working with the students of the different universities. So that was a kind of learning experience. But coming to the second semester, it was much more intensive because of, as you mentioned, the SESAM project, and there was also other industrial projects. So second semester for the aerospace was pretty much intensive, and then there was final exam. So yeah.
That was intense.
Yeah.
I guess. I thought that was a question I wanted to ask you that I forgot to ask at the beginning, which is, I'm sure that you looked at different schools before applying at TBS Education, and my question is what was the ranking, the triple accreditation, what is that TBS Education was your final choice?
Well, for me, there were two factors that play a major role, and first one was ranking.
Yeah.
Ranking and also the language in which the program is offered. So, because I had been struggling between three universities, I couldn't make up my mind. But at the end of the day, I would say that TBS won because of the ranking. It is like the name of the school is like known worldwide. And personally, I believe that adds so much value to my CV at the end of the day. And the second reason, for me, it was crucial, the location and the weather. And Toulouse being so close to Spain, for me, that was perfect. Like, personally, I don't love the cold weather. So Toulouse, it's a great city. The campus as well of TBS, it's beautiful. So those were the major reasons why I chose this school.
Thank you.
For me, mainly there are two main reasons. The first thing is that it's been a reputed college school, and it has a good reputation as well in India because of its partnership with the IIM Bangalore. And I had my seniors who had come here and joined these courses, and then I had learned from their experiences as well. And the second thing was the proximity of being in the aerospace capital of the Europe. And for me, I really wanted to be part of the big ecosystem which is here. Mm-hmm. So that was the reason for me coming.
Thank you. What about you?
For me, first of all, was the webpage. Actually, it was pretty...
It's really catchy.
Yeah, it's really catchy. And the ease of use that it had, I had all the information available. It gave me everything. I know you all are looking for masters online, as I was. And there are not so much masters in France that are in English. So I had best of both worlds. I could live in France, learn my French, practice it, and also study in English. And also my master was more future-proof, the curriculum that TBS was offering. They were mentioning AI, they were mentioning the new tools that we're using in supply chain as SAP HANA that we had a lot of courses in. And also it's top 10 business schools in France that gives me a more future-proof diploma. And it's getting better by the year. I got here last year and now it's like 3 spots higher than it was last year. So I know in the future it's going to be better and better as time goes by. And also Toulouse is a city full of students. I think there are more than 100,000 students here in Toulouse. And you can see it on the streets. It's full of people, full of youth. And everybody's on the street just enjoying themselves. Even next to school, there's a huge park that you can enjoy a meal every day if you want.
Thank you for reminding people. So Toulouse has been elected several times in a row now, first student city in France. So thank you. That's actually a good thing to remind. Thank you.
Okay, I think I have one last question for this first part of the live. In 3 words, could you please describe your experience at TBS?
In 3 words.
Yes.
International, engaging, and development, just personal development.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll put it in 1 word.
It's quite difficult to explain it in 3 words, but I will use some terms from my aerospace background. I will say like boundless, orbiting, boundless orbiting journey.
Thank you.
I'll say fun, first of all. It's really fun. It's future-proof and also human. We're going to see with Miriam, but if you want to be babysitted in the steps coming to France, they help you out a lot.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the best transition you could do. Thank you for your time. I was really happy to spend this moment with you. And now I'm going to leave my colleague Miriam, which is in the International Student Office team, going to explain to you everything non-academic, how they assist you to come to France. We know it's a big process and it can be scary. And that's why we have a great team. And Miriam is the best representative to show everything to you regarding how it works. So we're going to switch together and she's going to speak more about it.
Hello everyone. It's a pleasure to join this panel. My name is Myriam Chelgam. I'm French and I work for TBS Education International Relations Direction. More specifically, I am an international projects coordinator and my main mission is being in charge of the International Student Office. So, to explain to you, after your admission process, once you're an admitted student here at TBS, you will go from the amazing international admissions team to the International Student Office, which is my team. And we are here to try and facilitate your arrival in France, settling, enjoying your student life during your studies, and even what follows afterwards. So in practicality, what we do is help you with preparing for your arrival in France, try and facilitate your integration at TBS, on the campus, in the city, or around. We provide resources to help you find accommodation. We also assist you, giving you guidelines in the process of applying for your visa, explaining the French healthcare system, finding a bank, answering all sorts of student life questions, and even what follows afterwards. So as of now, in contact with Lady Pawan and Anton, I am not talking about arrival preparation, but we're mostly talking about extending their visa to finish their internships, or what can follow afterwards for their employability, switching to another status, to look for a job in France and start working. So, giving you a little bit of guideline about how we work, we first start with the pre-arrival preparation. This is in the format of pre-arrival webinars, but also direct contact with us. We plan a week, 2 weeks, sometimes even 3 weeks of pre-arrival webinars. A first round usually happening in May, a second round happening also in November for students taking the physical preparatory program, which starts in January. So these pre-arrival webinars are themed sessions on different topics, like a general presentation of the International Student Office, the resources you can find, the intranet, visa, housing, banking, healthcare. These sessions are more than often animated by the International Student Office, but not only. We often invite other TBS education services, like the Career Services, the International Mobility Office, and we also include in the mix our partners, healthcare partner, housing partner, banking partners. One great thing is that we try to accommodate most time zones for these webinars when they're taking place, so that you can connect live with us, asking directly your question, explaining directly your personal situation from where you are currently residing. But if you cannot join, then we do our best recording all of them, sending the recording link, and then also sending you additional resources, guides, resources from our intranet, links to different platforms, so on and so forth. So we are basically trying to make this contact and talk to you through the different steps of arrival. So I have a question for the three of you, and I wanted to know, like, how was your arrival process coming here to France, and have you joined the pre-arrival webinars?
I personally did. I joined one. If I'm not wrong, it was on visas processing. And let me tell you guys, Miriam is the best person you could find. She is super helpful. Like, when I felt that I was stressing out, I was struggling with something, she was always there. She would make it so easy. Like, it's amazing how much information she has in her head. She knows. And she would just calm all your nerves. And TBS will provide you with the tools that you need for your process to be as smooth as possible. It's you cannot get lost in the process. In the process. They guide you through every step, and as Anton mentioned earlier, everything's really clear. Like, from the webpage, everything's really catchy, clear. The information is out there. You will understand it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I would say same for me, because the booklet which was presented by you about the pre-departure and then after coming here, the documentation process, it was very much efficient. And the way the ISO office works, like, they promptly respond to your mail, which was very helpful in my case.
I did not attend any webinars, but as I said before, in the webpage, after you're admitted, there's a international student section. So you get information on all the banks here, recommended banks by TBS, recommended housing, even the visa process, and that's all in the webpage. And after that, if you have any doubts, like Lady said, Miriam is here, the webinars are there. And also when you get here, I think Miriam is going to talk about them, there's also orientation day that I don't want to mention anything so I don't spoil it, but it's pretty great.
Yes, so thank you, Anton, for mentioning that. Via our intranet, which you have access as soon as you admit it, you get TBS credentials, and so you have access to our secured intranet. You have access to a section that's called International Support, where you will find information per city, so Toulouse, Paris, Casablanca, and Barcelona, and then under each city it will be themed. So for example, if you click on visa, the information is available in both in French and English, and it's presented in the format of a Q&A. So you can just click on the question that you might have and read it out. If you cannot join webinar sessions live due to your activities or your time zones, maybe you're just shy, it also happens, then there's also, the option of reading out the information that we provide. And so talking about, just before I was mentioning, that we invite our partners also to present. So and Anton mentioned recommended banks, recommended housing. We work with a network of different partners. So for instance, we work for the Toulouse University on different action. It's the Federal University of Toulouse. They help us with providing healthcare services, but also additional French or language courses and other activities planned by the city through them for the students. So we work also with the Welcome Desk. The Welcome Desk here in Toulouse is a pretty innovative and amazing creation where we have direct access to the immigration office, CAF for housing benefits. So we have access to all of the administrations very directly. We work with very reputable banks, LCN, BNP, Société Générale, HSBC, the public transportation company, and a lot of different healthcare insurances, but also housing providers. So we work with student residencies, but also platforms, agencies. We try to add as many as we can throughout the year. About when new ones are being created, we try to add them in the list. And the way we work with those partners is we're always trying to work on a win-win-win situation where we feel we alleviate the stress of students. Students feel like they have an option, and our partners, they give us the resources with English multilingual support so that they can follow up and understand also the population, that they don't have the French papers like the French students do, and answer to those specific profiles and adapt to them. Moving to the International Welcome Week. So we plan a Welcome Week with an orientation day. So orientation day are dedicated per program. So we have a bachelor orientation day, master orientation day. We have an international orientation day on the Paris campus as well. It usually takes place either at the end of August for the bachelor program, but for the master's program, it will be in September, directly on campus and prior to the introduction by the program directly. So this International Welcome Day is planned by the International Direction, where we welcome you, the whole team from the International Student Office, but also the International Admission team is also here to greet you with a welcome breakfast, greet you with a welcome address from the direction of the program, give you some insights, present to you over the student clubs, different TBS education services, and then usually we try also to include a little bit more of academic, practical, getting started at TBS parallel session in the afternoon. On top of this, we offer different activities, professional and cultural, company visits, city visits, or just fun activities to do around. So some of the recurring ones that we do in Toulouse are an Airbus visit or a visit to Etikable, which is a chocolate factory, taking you to Albi to discover this city and pass by a winery to understand the wine business in France. Toulouse walking tours so you can explore the city. So yeah, we plan different activities that are open to all international populations. So you can also get to know the other international students at TBS on your campus in other master's programs before you get to know the people that you will be having classes with. And on top of this, during this week, usually we plan workshops. So we have 3 main dedicated workshops. One is on validating your visa. The second one will be on registering with the French Social Security to benefit from the French state healthcare coverage system. And the final one will be to register with CAF to benefit from housing benefits. So housing benefits are basically free money from the French state to help you pay your rent. So usually when you arrive, you want to register to be able to benefit from those. And then additionally, we also try to implement another type of workshop just to understand either international communication or French culture or French business. So last year, there was a communication workshop with Professor Hannah Davies for all the Master International students. So I would love to have some feedback from you guys about orientation day, workshops. How did you find it, generally speaking?
Well, for me, the first day here, the orientation day, was amazing because it's not like you come to school and you feel lost and then you ask, like, what's next? No, like, you get in charge from the very first moment. All the international team, admissions teams is right there at the front door waiting for you, giving your student card, and then you access to the cafeteria. They receive you with a welcome-in breakfast. You get to know all the international students, do some networking, and then comes like the formal sessions. You know, when you get to know the academic team, the ones that are going to be the leaders of your program, for example. And I believe the most useful thing for me the first day that I can remember is that the public transportation company was here in TBS, linking our student cards with the public transport card. So those partnerships that TBS has with different companies that are crucial for your everyday life here, that's really, really helpful. That's the added value that this school has.
For me, I came late, so I was not able to join the workshop. And also, I heard that it was really good, the cultural visits and all. Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what you missed. Okay. So basically, the workshops really recommend that people come in because they help you reduce the big bureaucracy of French government. Basically, the International Student Office provides you with a step-by-step guide on how to do your Social Security. It's not easy, by the way, so I recommend to come. The CAF, you get free money, like Miriam said. And also, every doubt that you have, even how to, some recommended steps to do if you're moving here, to take pictures of the apartment, et cetera, do a list of the things that you're renting into the apartment. So it makes your life easier. Like I told before, it's pretty human. Like Lady said, it's the added value that you get. They're kind of babysitting you, so you don't make mistakes in any case, and makes your life easier at the end of the day.
Well, thank you. I think that what I always like to say, I even say this during orientation day, is that we're always trying to work in a manner that no student can go, I wish I knew that. So sometimes we may be sending a lot of information here and there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we hit you with one shot of information and then we leave you be with resources. Really, even after those sessions take place, you can come to us and you can get in touch with us. And so how do you think contacting us goes along? Do you have any difficulties reaching out to us?
Not at all. Like, actually, the last time I emailed you guys, it was probably 2 days ago, and it was a question regarding my calf. Again, even after the session that we had at the beginning, and the answer was right there. Probably 2 hours later after my email, if it's out of office hours, the answer will be there first time in the morning next day. It's really, really easy to get in touch with the international team. So yeah, like, besides having the information already there, if you're lazy to read, you can always reach them.
Yeah, same thing. It's very prompt response from them whenever you contact them, and they are always ready to help. And as you mentioned, there is always the information booklet which they provide, which has everything you need to know. So
and if you don't understand the emails, you can always visit Miriam at her office, and you end up like me talking for an hour and a half about life and chocolatina para chocolate.
Exactly. So we were talking about contact with the team, generally speaking. So TBS Education is part of a European initiative. It's a European University for Earth and Humanities. It's called Universae. We are part of a network of different universities around Europe working on this, on different modules and different themes, which includes a university in Sweden, also one in Luxembourg, Belgium, Germany, Poland, Italy, and here Toulouse. TBS Education is part of it, and so Pawan is the TBS Education student representative for Universae, and via Universae you had the chance to go to Krakow, Poland, and so you were in contact also with my dear colleagues Margot and Justine, part of this initiative. So how did this go for you? What was this experience like for you?
I'm glad that you asked. The Universae project is very close to my heart, and I've been involved in this project since the starting of the semester. So to tell you in brief about the Universae and my role, what I'm doing there. So Universae is a kind of a pan-European collaboration of the space universities, which are basically working in the academics and research. So under this we have student council, which is 12 to 15 members from all over the Europe, students who are part of this university, and then there are different governing bodies, and there are work packages where you can get involved at the European level and help develop the framework. So for me personally, I am a European student representative representing France and Toulouse at the European level. So there I am also involved in the work package that is called Space Innovation, where we are developing a framework for entrepreneurial and innovation management in research for future students. As well as in Toulouse, we have a student local team which consists of 5 different partner universities. So under this, throughout the semester, we do the conferences, try to do some analog mission, and moreover try to promote Universae and space at the France level.
That's awesome. That's so amazing. And so these activities are ongoing throughout the year, and so are our activities actually. We plan a lot of events throughout the year for which we try to promote international or engage the international community. So September is Welcome Month. We plan things, the student clubs do, local TBS Education student clubs, but also Toulouse-based like ESN, Erasmus Student Network. In October, it's Erasmus month where we plan the Erasmus days. We also plan a lot of activities, and then we plan a farewell for exchange students in December, a new welcome one in January. So activities are ongoing all the time, and we always try to include and engage students. So that was the best way to explain that it's an all-round activity, the International Student Office. So thank you for listening to me, to my presentation. I am wondering if there are any questions maybe that we could be answering.
Yes, there is a question actually in the chat from Han. Do we have the cruise for international students?
So the cruise is public social housing that is handled by the French state. Their places are limited, and they are prioritized. They give first the priority to the French students that come from families of low income, and then they might leave places for international students, and usually they are priorily allocated to the public universities. TBS Education is a private institution, so unfortunately we cannot benefit from getting rooms allocated for international students. However, we work on an extended network of housing providers to still get accommodation options for students outside of the CRUTs.
Thank you. I also have another question in the chat from Devasvi. Can you talk about the accommodation and transportation? Like, are there any suggestions you could give to stay nearby the campus? And if the accommodation is far, then how connected is the campus?
So there are plenty of resources and accommodation options close to the campus. For the master's students, the campus is located in the city center. So we have lots of student residencies close by. There's one called Clay, there's the Social Hub, we have Les Estudiants de Brienne and Next City Studia. They're all within walking distance. Clay couldn't be closer. It's 2 minutes away from the campus. The campus is located on 20 Boulevard Las Crosse. Clay is 20B Boulevard Las Crosse. So you couldn't be any closer. Same for the Social Hub. It's 3 minutes by foot. And then the other two that I mentioned, it's 10 minutes by foot. And then the public transportation system in Toulouse is so well thought out. I'm French, but I'm not originally from Toulouse. I came to Toulouse as a student myself. I was not a student in TBS Education. I was a student at another university, which was on the other side of town. And it was still super quick for me, living in the city center, to access my campus. So what about you guys? Do you live close by? Is it easily accessible? Do you think Toulouse is a big city with easily accessible public transportation?
For me, the public transportation is the best. I have this motto that everything's 15 minutes away, either by metro, by walking. I would go for the second option. Walking is always like nothing is too far in order to say no, I cannot walk. And on top of all, the campus in the city center, it's truly the heart of the city where the campus is located. There are so many residences around, and for me, the experience looking for accommodation was really fast. I mean, all the web pages that the school itself provides, plus on top of that, all the web pages that you could find. It's not something impossible to do. It's really easy, and the metro is one of the best metros I've ever been.
Yeah, same thing. One of the partners of the TBS, that is Studapart. I was able to find my accommodation there, and coming to the metro, I frequently use it. I generally go on the Velo Toulouse, the bicycle, which is available everywhere. So that is kind of good option here.
So we have one that walks and bicycle, and I take the metro every day. Actually, it's the best. Also, it's relatively cheap. As a student, if you're 26 years old or less, you pay 13 euros a month only, and you have unlimited bus and metro and tram access, and it's actually the best. You open Google Maps, put an address where you are, and literally walks you every step of the way, and it's super quick, super reliable in that case, and as Lady said, everything is 15 minutes away, even the airport.
Yeah.
Yes. So metro, cycling, walking. I take the bus. I live in a neighborhood, 2 neighborhoods away from the city center to the campus. Here, there is a student residency that is just behind my own street, so I often ride the bus with other international students. There's a lot of international students.
I've seen you in the bus.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, it's direct bus line. I'm here in 20 minutes less. 20 minutes because I take my time walking to the office afterwards when I'm dropped off. So yeah, so easily accessible and really inexpensive.
I have another question for all of you guys. How is the life in Toulouse, like the activities, the costs, etc.?
Well, Toulouse is a great city. It's beautiful. Like, if you walk like me, you get to see the streets, which are like some sort of vintage. You know, you can see vintage places, vintage cafeterias, which are really beautiful. The city's crowded by students, but also has this like really international vibes. Last year, I remember we had the Rugby World Cup, so you could see tourists all around. You could hear different languages in the street. And that's what makes this city beautiful, and one of the reasons why I chose to be here.
Yeah, same for me. It's a student city, and you can find a party every day. Every day there is some party, and you can go to the such events. And as you mentioned, it's good to explore the place on walk, and there are some nice restaurants and cafe as well which you can explore.
I'll make it quick. It's a huge city. It's not small if you think it is. But it's the perfect size. It's not big, but it's not small. Like now I go to Paris to visit my sister sometimes. It's way too crowded. Here the metro is not crowded. You have cafes everywhere. They're all full. And it's great. I'll just say it's great. Even I have people who have visited me and who live in Milan, even in Paris, and they really love it. It's a really nice city to live in.
There is always something to do, honestly. I talked about Federal University of Toulouse. They do a lot of things. They plan the La Semaine de l'Étudiant, the Student Week, where they organize concerts, games, just a lot of activities. Erasmus Student Networks, they also plan so much. There is one very special night. It's called La Nuit des Étudiants du Monde. So it's the International Student Night that is planned here in Toulouse, and it's hosted at the town hall with the mayor. It's limited seats, but it's pretty amazing. It's usually followed by a huge party in a club. Because there is always a party going on somewhere. Fairs around the city, sales going on everywhere, markets. Anytime there's a game, there's a lot of places to watch, whether it's soccer or rugby, because in Toulouse we play rugby. Food is always everywhere because, well, it's France, we love our food. So yes, it's very vibrant. I moved here when I was a student, and I thought there was also always something to do around.
That's great.
We love it here.
Well, I think it is now time to wrap up this session. Thank you so much for joining us, listening to us, interacting with us, but more especially, thank you so much to our nice panel. Thank you so much, Anton, Pawan, and Lady. It was really nice having you there. You were such good sports, and just a perfect representation of the international life here at TBS. Thank you also Margot, who had left the panel, for her very insightful and clear presentation. So you can see on our screen right now the contact if you're interested in any program of study at TBS Education will be international.admissions@tbs-education.fr. You will be in touch with the admissions team. If you have any question that would be more toward me, they will definitely do the link. We're very available. You can meet them online, schedule a call, schedule a Zoom call to have a real person in front of you, face to face, and just all year round, contact us. We're open almost all around the year, available to answer you. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope to see you soon. See you in Toulouse and in Paris.